All right, now I want you to go to Working Papers 13.4, and we're going to do the working together. And what we have here is we're going to be journalizing this payroll data. Okay, so our instructions here, before I get to the instructions, let's just look at the information that we have. We have our payroll data for March 31st, and this is going to include our employee tax information and then our Social Security and Medicare that are from our employer. And then we have our unemployment tax balances. And then finally, we have our chart of accounts information. So you can go over and look at what account titles, if you get stuck, what account titles you can apply. So we have our employee, our Social Security, our Medicare, employment, and federal income tax. Okay, so let's go ahead and start the process. Using the payroll register as of March 31st, prepare a journal entry for the payment of withheld taxes. Tesla Electronics is a monthly scheduled depositor, so that's important. Journalize check number 495 on the cash payments journal, page 14, which is right here, and use the date the taxes are due to the federal government. What date is that again? It should be the 15th of the following month. Use the tax account credit balances to prepare journal entries for payment of the FUTA and the SUTA tax of liabilities. Assume both checks were prepared on the due date for the federal tax deposit. So we're going to go down here. Let me change and we're going to put in April 15th. You're going to start off, and when you go to do these payrolls, we're looking at this right here. So again, remember, we are changing this information. This was the federal income tax that was withheld on behalf of our employee, but because the business is also going to owe federal income tax, we're renaming this to employee income tax payable. So let's go down here. Employee income tax payable, and this is on check 495, and we are going to debit 1,320. The next account title is going to be Social Security tax payable. Now here, this is only telling us the employee Social Security tax withheld. So that's important for you guys to know and to use your knowledge, that understanding that both the employee and the employer are going to pay this tax. So when it just says employee income tax, you need to take this number and you're going to double it. So we're going to calculate. We're just going to multiply that number times 2. We are paying, or we're reducing our Social Security tax withheld with $2,663.52. Now, if we were looking in the general ledger, you would not have to multiply that by 2 because you would just be able to see the number. But since we're only given partial data, that's why we have to double it. So we're going to look at the employee Medicare tax withheld. And again, we need to double it because we don't have the other part of the information. We don't have the employer portion. So we're going to multiply that by 2. And that's going to be $622.92. Again, if we were be looking in the general ledger, you would be able to just pull that number from the credit side. So I kind of worked backwards there because I had the number in my head. Medicare tax payable. Now I want to take these 3 numbers, add them together. And that's going to give me the amount of my check. So $4,606.44. Okay, now I want to go through and just verify that my debits equal my credits. You could go back up here and add that information up. Just make sure that your doubling calculations were correct. I'm just going to put the numbers into my calculator twice. And yes, I got the same thing. Now the next thing is to use the tax account credit balances to prepare journal entries for FUTA and SUTA tax liabilities. So that's going to be in our next tab here. And so I'm going to type in unemployment tax payable federal. And that's going to be on it's going to be at the end of the quarter. So it's going to be for the first quarter, April 30th, we're going to put unemployment tax payable federal. And that was $515. Let me see what the cents was. And 52 cents. And that's going to be a general debit. That's going to be the amount of my check. And what is my check number? It says right here, check number is 522. And then the next one, respectively, is going to be unemployment tax payable state. And check number 523. I'm going to scroll up here, take a look at the balance of $1,159.92. $1,159.92. Just verify that, and we are done. You can go ahead and submit and complete the on your own.